Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here in our quaint little studio. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined in studio today by Jonathan Voico.
Oh, the long national nightmare is over. I'm back.
Oh, yeah, you've been knocked off your feet for a few days.
I was pretty sick.
Good to have you back in studio. And, of course, writer, director, producer Robert Meyer Burnett.
It's good to be back here. It's good to have Jonathan next to me. I have my security blanket back.
And most importantly, you guys are here. Thanks for being here, making our little show part of your day. And here's how our show's going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a few topics we got lined up for you guys. Then in the second part of the show is the most important part. That's when we're going to take your live comments and questions. Now, if you have a thought, theory, opinion, observation, or question you'd like us to address, go ahead and fire it into our super chat in the live chat. Now, I'm going to let you know it's already almost pretty full up, so I'm going to turn off the super chats in about 5 or 10 minutes. But if you do have a thought, theory, opinion, or question you want to get in, as long as we deem it appropriate to be addressed on our show, go ahead and fire it on in, and we'll get around to answering it in the second part of the show. All right, guys. With that all down, let's get things started off here, shall we? And we're going to start off with this. You know, a trailer dropped a couple of weeks ago out of nowhere for this upcoming Amazon streaming original. It's not going to theaters, called The Wrecking Crew. But it's got a really nice little cast. Dave Bautista, who I adore. Jason Momoa, who I like an awful lot. Morena Baccarin from Serenity, Firefly, Deadpool, that sort of stuff. And Jacob Bartolone, Ned, from the Spider-Man films with Tom Holland. Love all those guys. First trailer dropped for it. It's an action vengeance kind of thing where these two brothers are out on the hunt to get to the ninja clan that killed their dad. Nice. At least that's what I took away from the trailer. And you know what? Despite the giant red flag that it's going straight to streaming, so it'll probably be bad, I thought it looked like a lot of fun. Now, there was another film very much like that a few months ago called, I believe, Playdate with Alan Ritchson from Reacher, which we thought the same thing. It's like, this just looks like really good, dumb fun, but apparently it was just dumb, minus the fun, and it wasn't very good. So now we've got the actual reviews for Wrecking Crew. And you know what? They're actually pretty good. As of this recording, it'll change, I'm sure, but as of this recording, it's holding a 75% critic rating, which is about 55% higher than what I would have guessed it would be. And you know what? They sound pretty good. Let's jump over to Rotten Tomatoes and see what some of the critics are saying. We'll start off with one that didn't like it. The guys over at Flickering Myth didn't like it. They said, all the Wrecking Crew does is repeatedly damage itself, destined to be another forgotten big-budget waste of algorithmic streaming space. Screen Rant liked it, though. The combination of Soto's slick direction and nice chemistry between Bautista and Momoa ultimately keeps the Wrecking Crew mostly afloat. Screen Anarchy liked it. Says, I don't care whether Bautista and Momoa are believable as brothers. I want to see them destroy bad guys, which is exactly what the Wrecking Crew delivers. And I can hear an amen coming from the lips of Robert Meyer Burnett over there.
Amen.
Quibbo writes, they liked it. They said it delivers everything one wants from this type of film. Nothing revolutionary, but it's not necessary either. You know how this ends from the beginning. The important thing is the journey. The Cosmic Circus liked it. They said it's great that Soto knows how to keep the camera alive and exciting during the high-energy, violent set pieces. This gives the Wrecking Crew an edge that few streaming films of the era sadly do. Variety, of all places, liked it. They said the crux of the movie is how well Bautista and Momoa fire off each other once Johnny returns to his roots in Hawaii. The action stars, I should say, may not be great actors in the classical sense, but they are more than competent and acquit themselves well. The Hollywood Reporter also liked it. They said movies like this depend mostly entirely on chemistry between the co-stars, and fortunately, Bautista and Momoa have plenty of it. And then I'll just do one more. Fandom Wire liked it. They said in the end, the protagonist's charisma ensures victory, proving that a good duo can carry even the most formulaic screenplay. And you know what? Just from watching the trailer, I'm not at all surprised to hear that the movie's pretty formulaic. I mean, the trailer itself looks like it's presenting a pretty formulaic action film. That's okay. So the question's going to be the two things I have is the action going to be plentiful and fun? And is there great dynamic chemistry between your leads? If you can do those things, you're not going to make an Oscar contending film, but you can deliver an enjoyable viewing experience for the audience. And from reading through a lot of the other reviews, apparently there is violence and action aplenty. Apparently the humor hits fairly well. Nobody's saying this is the comedy of the year, but a lot of the critics I read are saying, actually, the humor is surprisingly good in it. The humor, the one-liners hit.
Seems like it's good timing.
Yes, and that will often come from the chemistry between your leads. And you kind of had this hope that you'd get that with Bautista and Momoa. Mm-hmm. But apparently all the critics who are watching this say they do. Even some of the negative ones I've read are saying it's too formulaic, all that kind of stuff. But hey, the chemistry between Momoa and Bautista is pretty damn good. Okay, so Rob, it's sounding to me like this film is going to turn out to be everything I was kind of hoping it would be. This is what I'm looking for in a movie called The Wrecking Crew with Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. So I'm enthused by these. And I got to say, the critic ratings, especially coming from outlets like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, giving it positive reviews, I got to say this is kind of exceeding my expectations. What are you taking away from this?
Well, I've always called it, in my mind, it's watching movies at scale. Mm-hmm. You can't expect, like, we're not getting Bad Boys 2, which is one of the most excessive action movies. Michael Bay has all the money in the world. We're getting, and I grew up watching these movies, John. On late night cable, there was a lot of, whether it was an Italian ripoff of Escape from New York, or something, or a 70s action film, or Heather Thomas in like Cyclone, whatever. It's like when you watch movies like this, there's certain expectations. And like I've often said, one of my favorite action films is Brian Bosworth in Stone Cold. If you haven't seen Stone Cold with Lance Henriksen being a villain.
Oh, I've seen it.
Directed by Craig Baxley. I love that movie. But it's exactly what I would think it's supposed to be. I don't expect anything more. So when you think about The Wrecking Crew, the whole purpose of watching a movie like this is to watch Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista bounce off one another. And you know what? I've seen some behind-the-scenes interviews with them promoting the film. They look like they had a ball making it. And if the movie, so Dean Martin's not in it, I guess. Sharon Tate's not in it. But if they're in it, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this movie. And that's what I want. I want great set pieces. I want one-liners. I want them to get in situations where they almost get killed, but they wreck other fools instead.
And there's ninjas.
And there you go. I mean, even ninja movies, John. I recently acquired Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3: The Domination on 4K. They're not great, but I love seeing ninjas, and I love them anyway. So I am looking forward to this. Look, I love The Rip. I watched The Rip with Affleck.
Oh, yeah.
Should have been in theaters.
That movie
should have been in theaters.
That movie, and Joe Carnahan, Carno Joe, coming back ferociously. I love that movie. I just love watching Ben Affleck carry around an AR-15 properly. It was so this movie is exactly what I want from a streaming film. And these reviews bear that out.
Guys, question is for you. We're looking forward to seeing this movie, and the reviews are surprisingly good. Are you looking forward to seeing The Wrecking Crew? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's go on to this, shall we? Every once in a while around here, I'll come across something interesting online, and I'll want us to talk about it a little bit. So sometimes it'll be an editorial by an outlet or a list by an outlet. I came across a video the other day by Looper. They're a very popular YouTube channel. And I thought they had a pretty interesting video. They were predicting what were going to be the big flops of 2026. Because, of course, 2026 is going to be a big year. We've got a number of high-profile, many billion-dollar contending films this year. It's going to be a very, very big year. But there's a lot of films. Some of them are going to flop. And they put out a list of what they thought were going to be flops this year. So I thought we would go through the list. I'm going to leave off the list the ones that have already come out, because then that's not predictive anymore. But I thought we'd go through this list. And then, Rob, I want us to give it a percentage chance that this particular film actually flops. All right? There's going to be some big films, some smaller films. Let's jump in and see what Looper had to say about what films they thought were going to flop. The first one we're going to start off here with is one that they dropped the first trailer for at the Game Awards. Street Fighter. Hadouken! So, Street Fighter, they're predicting is going to be a flop. Now, they looked at the previous iterations. They did a number of things of analysis. Now, look, I'm going to give this one an 85% chance this flops, because the trailer they showed at the Game Awards was terrible. Now, I also say this, and you guys remember I said this before. If all you're looking for is something to look exactly like the video game, well, then this one might have worked for you, because, I mean, everything from Cody Rhodes' ridiculous hair to some of the crazy, stupid looking thing. I mean, they were just going for, including like the smashing the car part, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool that they put that in there. But I don't think this is going to be a very good movie, and I don't honestly think very many people are going to go to see it. So I'm going to say it's an 85% chance Street Fighter flops. What about you?
You know what? I don't think it's that high. I think people want to see this movie. I keep hearing people, and not everyone thought, I like you, was not very impressed with the trailer. A lot of people love this. I wouldn't be surprised, because it's a legacy video game. You know, a lot of nostalgia bait here. I think this might have a chance. I don't think it's going to be a huge success, but I don't think it's going to flop 85% flop. I'd give it a 45% chance of flopping. I'm going to go half. I still think it's going to do well, but I also have a thought that maybe people are going to go see this. It might sail by on nostalgia and fun. If the movie's really fun, or though if it's, it doesn't have Raul Julia, man.
No, it doesn't. Now, I will remind us that there was, another Street Fighter movie. The most recent one, I believe, was the Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Oh my! Look at Cody Rhodes. Oh my God!
And like an SNL character.
Yeah. And what is this set? Will they hang up a bunch
Some
of curtains in the
disco
background? And,
yeah, I mean, I think they shot this really cheap.
Yeah.
Have you
But you
never
know what
not
the
been to Vietnam?
worldwide grand total of the last Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li was? Worldwide grand total wide release, $12 million. That was the worldwide grand total. Now, if we go back to the 1994 one, that one made 99. That one made a Wayne Gretzky, made 99 million, but that had Jean-Claude Van Damme at arguably the height of his powers, and it had Raul Julia.
Nice.
And that one couldn't crack $100 million. I don't know. I'm going to stick with my 85, but you're going to go 45. All right, let's go on to the next one that Looper suggests will be one of the box office flops of this year. Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars film in which the history of Star Wars, only two movies, only one real one, but I mean, only two movies have ever flopped. One was that animated Clone Wars movie, but you don't really count that one. The only one really was Solo. And that was basically because they never should have made it in the first place. You know what? Still wasn't a bad movie, but it flopped. They're saying Mandalorian Grogu. Now, look, you guys, if you watch the show, you know I have very little faith that this movie's going to do much at the box office. I don't think there's a lot of people clamoring to go back and watch 3 seasons of The Mandalorian for homework to go out to the theaters to watch it. So basically, we're going to be stuck with just people who already know the show. So I don't think it's going to be great. But do I think, as opposed to doing great at the box, do I think it's going to flop? Like, do I think it's going to make $220 million? Like, I still think it can come around $400 or $500 million, which you're in the break-even range, even a little bit of profit. Again, I don't think it's going to be a big hit. But I have a hard time believing, Rob, with Baby Yoda, that we're talking about a movie that's going to make $250 million. I'm going to say this one has a 20% chance of flopping. What do you think about the flopping chances of Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah. Again, I watch these trailers and I'm like, there's nothing. Look, I always look for something to do with story. Does the story interest me? All they do is they've shown action. I don't know what the story of this movie is.
Well, they've only put out the first trailer so far.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we
it's
still
just
got more
none of
trailers
it
to
looked
go.
appealing to me. I looked at it. I'm like, this looks like a TV show. It looks like they've taken a couple episodes of the TV show, and so I don't think I think you're probably right about that. I'd give it even more of a chance of flopping, because why go see this if it's not? Season 3 was not as good as season 1 or 2, and if this movie isn't as good as season 1 or 2, and it's more like season 3, who's going to go see it? Why would you go see it? So I think the potential here of flopping is definitely there, especially for a Star Wars movie. Because what's their break even on this? Are they going to want $500,000 or $500 million? Is that what they're expecting? I have no idea, but to me, this just looks like a TV show. I got to tell you, I never thought I'd say this, John, but I have no interest in seeing this movie.
I don't really think I do either, unless the reviews come out.
Yeah, unless somebody tells me that it's got a really interesting story. I mean, I look at this, I'm like, okay.
I mean, I'm not clamoring to see it, which I can't believe I'm saying about a Star Wars movie.
I know.
I'm not clamoring, but I personally wouldn't go so far as saying as I'm not interested. Because you're telling me if we found out there was a screening tonight here in
I'd go
Riverside,
out of curiosity.
So you're at least interested.
Well, I'm interested. Yeah, I mean, okay, but I'm not. I should say this. I'm not excited about it.
I agree.
It's almost like we're doing it because we're in the industry and we have to.
Yeah, we have to talk about
it. We gotta know.
And I learn just as much from movies that aren't good as I do from movies that I love. And I think that this is to me, I just don't know who this movie is for.
Yeah, but I still think it's a stretch to say it's going to flop.
If
I
they
don't think it's going to be big, but I don't think it's going to flop.
They desperately need a new trailer that's a story trailer.
Yeah, 100% they do.
When Rob brought that up, it's like what I thought about was being in like post-production school back when that was a thing and you were going to get your Avid certification and all that. But it felt like a student edited it for a professor, and the professor looked at it and said, there's a lot of visual
And it was
noise. There's all these
stylized.
cool little funny bits you're putting in, but I don't understand the story of the trailer you're giving me.
Yeah, which I give a lot of leeway for that for first trailers. For first trailers, I don't have a high demand for putting in story. Just give us a taste. But I think you're right, Jonathan. They're due for a second one. Anyway, we need to move on to the next one here. This next one they put on has already played at some film festivals to rave reviews. Actually, we just had Sean Chandler on the show a week or two ago that said it was one of his favorites. Sam Rockwell's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Now this one, I want to see.
I can't wait to watch this movie.
I can't wait either. That trailer when he says, this is the 121st time I've been in this exact same diner trying to find people. And I've read incredible reviews of this. It's Gore Verbinski coming back after being exiled.
Who hasn't directed in
Cure
ages.
for Wellness or whatever. Who doesn't want to see this?
I think this looks amazing. It looks like a mix between Groundhog Day and Terminator. And
I'm in.
And it's Sam Rockwell. It looks like a lot of fun, but I unfortunately have to agree with Looper. I don't think anybody's going to go see it. And partially because their marketing for it is terrible. It's coming out in February.
Yeah.
So it's coming out in just a few weeks. Nobody really knows about it. I'm going to go see this. I'm excited to see it, but I'm going to say leave a little bit of wiggle room for some viral stuff to put. So I'm going to go 90% this thing probably flops. Oof. Rob, what about you?
Yikes.
Look, I think this is going to be a sleeper.
I hope so.
I
hope you're right.
It depends. Again, the marketing I don't think is great, but I think when the reviews come out, maybe it'll do some business. But I have to say, to be realistic, John, I don't think it's going to make any money.
And it's sad to say that.
But it looks great.
All right. Let's move on to the next one Looper is predicting will be a flop. This is another one that I totally forgot about. And then the trailer dropped. I'm like, oh, yeah. Not the old ones with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not the newer one with Tom Cruise, but there's a new true horror version of The Mummy is coming. And they dropped the first trailer. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. They dropped the first trailer, and I'll straight up tell you, I'm excited to see this. The trailer got me absolutely hooked. I think it looks creepy as hell. I'm thinking it's about time they actually do a true horror approach to The Mummy. and let's check it out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. But between the scarcity of the marketing, between the possible confusion with the other Mummy franchises we've already had, you know, from what I understand, the original, they were going to change the title of this movie to The Resurrection, but they opted to stay with The Mummy. Probably a mistake, but I don't know if a lot of people are going to go see it, but it is appealing to the horror crowd. I'm going to say 60% chance The Mummy flops. Rob, what about you?
I think it's probably going to flop. I've heard not good things about it. And, you know, there was even a meme of James Wan walking out of a test screening of this, not looking happy.
I heard that wasn't, that was misconstrued, but
yeah, but it was,
but I've also talked to somebody that didn't like the film.
Yeah. And, but look, I want it to be good. I want every horror movie, because I love horror movies. I want every horror movie to be good, but the potential for failure, my last weekend seeing Return to Silent Hill, yeesh, I wanted that to be good, and it wasn't. But, you know, I hope this is good. Although the director did put his name above the title. It's not just...
That's the distributor that put his name above the title. The director didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, John Carpenter can get away with that.
Yes.
But you got to earn
directors
that.
don't get to make those decisions.
Oh.
Unless they're the ones paying for the movie. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one they put on their list here. This is going to be a controversial one. We just got the trailer for it. Looper is predicting Masters of the Universe.
How dare they?
Is going to flop. And listen, let me say this. I don't know if the movie's going to be great. I don't know if the movie's going to be horrible. I just know I'm really interested in it. I like what I've seen so far. Some concerns, yeah, but overall I like what I've seen so far, and I'm really interested in seeing how this movie turns out. But, you know, one of our viewers wrote in the other day, and they asked a really good question. They said, listen, I'm in my mid-40s, and I don't know who this movie is for. Is it just for me and my friends who are older than me? He said, I've got kids. They have no idea who He-Man is.
They will.
And he said, I feel like the trailer is only trying to target the people who grew up with He-Man. And listen, I'm going to stay on the same bar that I've been on with Masters of the Universe the whole time. I think it's an absolute coin toss. I think it's a 50% chance this thing flops. Now, this thing could catch on, and hopefully it's great, because it is. Again, it's Travis Knight. That is
Trust Travis.
One big thing this film's got going for it. It's being directed by Travis Knight. So that's the one bit of it. But Bumblebee didn't blow up the box office. It should have, but Michael Bay ruined the name of Transformers by that point. I think there's just as much of a chance that this thing can make some money as it is that it makes next to no money. So I'm going to say coin toss 50% on this one. Rob, what about you?
You know, first of all, you make salient points. I think He-Man is a certain generation. I mean, there's always been He-Man over the last 45 years almost. But you're right. The new generation, the younger generation doesn't really know He-Man. And it's not like the recent animated shows like the Kevin Smith version and the other version burned up anyone's charts. However, that said, I do think people are always hungry for science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And if this... I mean, but then again, I thought the Dungeons & Dragons movie, even after seeing it, was going to be a hit, and it wasn't.
No, it deserved to be a hit. That movie was
I
really
think you're
good.
right. I think it's a coin toss. A coin toss whether this is going to be good, a box office hit or not. I don't think it's going to flop, because I think it's going to get enough people to go because they're going to want to see.
Make it profitable?
Yeah.
I hope you're right. Really
And,
do.
you know, it's part of Amazon's slate. I think Amazon's taken a chance on it, you know, that the fact that they got this franchise, they saw the value in it. They've certainly got enough, everything. I mean, come on, Idris Elba's Man-at-Arms. I'm in. Come in. Battle Cat, the rotor
I am
vehicle.
looking forward to Battle
That
Cat.
Castle Grayskull's dope. I want to see armies fighting in front of Grayskull. Come on. But
all right.
Does anybody else want to see it? I don't know.
We'll see. We got two more to cover. This one's interesting. This was a movie that got made, and then the studio decided, we don't think anybody's going to go see this, so they try to shop it around, and nobody else wanted it either. And then finally, months and months and months later, another entity came along and picked it up, and now it's coming out in theaters. I believe in August. Coyote versus Acme. Now listen, I ain't going to lie to you. I really want to watch this.
Me too.
I mean, I think Lord and Miller watched it at a studio screening, came out and said, this movie's really good. And I just love the concept of it.
Me too.
I grew up with the coyote trying to catch the Roadrunner. This whole thing about building it around a court case about Coyote suing Acme because all the gadgets he buys from them just end up mutilating him. I think it sounds great. That said, I never argued with the studio's decision not to release it because they're right. No one's going to go see it. No one's going to go see it. I believe that Looper is right about this one. And by the way, that doesn't mean I'm saying it's not going to be good. I'm thinking it's going to be good, and I am looking forward to seeing it. But that doesn't change the fact that I don't think anybody's going to go see it. I think it's a 80% chance that Coyote versus Acme probably flops. Rob?
I have to agree with you. I mean, I really want to see this movie. I love the essay that it was based on.
Yeah.
I thought the premise was great, but even that essay is like 30 years old or something. Was it like 1990? 35, 36. And you know what? Kids don't know. They might know the Animaniacs, but kids don't know Looney Tunes anymore. Do kids growing up, do they know Wile E. Coyote? Do they know that? Do they know that character? Do they know the Roadrunner? Meet Me? I mean, do they know any of that? We grew up with all that. And also, the premise itself is an adult premise. The fact that the Coyote is suing the Acme company, that's pretty heady. That said, John, if this movie's good, I think this could be a breakout hit. I think this could be the kind of movie that people are going to go see because adult audiences, if it's good, it'll have a lot. It's going to be a lot of. I think this movie's going to be a lot of fun. But will people go see? It's the question.
So a little bit of context here. Warner Brothers, when they were trying to sell the film, they were only asking for what they spent on it. They weren't looking for a profit. So they were asking for $70 million. Nobody wanted it. No studio wanted it. They all passed on it for $70 million. The studio that eventually picked it up, Ketchup Entertainment, they eventually got it for $50 million. Okay. So for Ketchup, $50 million, say you got to put about $20 million into the marketing of it. I mean, ideally you're putting 50 to 60 million into the marketing of it, but they're not going to put that much in. So let's say 20, $30 million into marketing it. When you get production plus marketing, you got to multiply that by 1.5 to get your break-even point. So we're roughly talking about a movie that's going to need to make $105 to $120 million to break even. And that's at the discounted price because they didn't get it for 70. They got it for 50. So they're going to probably need to make somewhere around the 105, 110, $120 million mark to break even. I don't see it happening. Somebody just brought up a really good comparison. Space Jam 2. How much did Space Jam 2 make at the box office? And that had like LeBron James
I don't think
and stuff like that in it. I don't think Jonathan heard me, so I'll look it up myself here. Hold on a second here. Space Jam 2.
I thought you had the figure. I thought you were leading in with it.
So Space Jam, which was Space Jam: A New Legacy. I mean, that with LeBron James and the fact that it was a legacy title, it made 160. Can Coyote versus Acme make 120? I don't think it can. I hope it will. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but yeah, I'm going to stick with 80% that this one ends up being a flop.
Too bad.
All right. Last one we're going to look at here. This is a legacy IP. Has had some really good success in the past, and now they're coming back. We're not just meeting the Fockers. We're not just, what was the second one called? We're not just meeting the parents.
Yeah, then
we're not
Little
just meeting the
Little
Fockers.
Fockers.
And then there was the Little Fockers. Now we're Focker-in-laws.
Yeah.
As Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro and Ariana Grande come back to the screen. I can honestly tell you, Rob, in all the years I've been doing this, and I've been doing this a long time, I've outlasted almost all of them, which only tells you I haven't been able to get on with my life. So I've been doing this for a long time. But in the 16 years since the last Fockers movie? When did Little Fockers come out, Jonathan?
I know,
So you can
look
look it
that
up.
up.
I'll say off the top of my head, I'll say 16 years. Out of the thousands.
2010.
2010, so
Oh,
16
did you?
years.
16 years.
16 years. Out of the thousands of messages through live chats, comments, emails, social media posts, thousands of messages I get from random film fans every day in 15 years. We are talking in the millions of messages and whatever I've gotten from fans. You know what's one I have never got? You know
Let
what
me
we
guess,
need?
John.
You know what we need, John? We need ourselves another Fockers movie. Not one. Not one. I don't think anybody asked for this. I don't think anybody wants this. And I don't think anybody's going to go to see it. I hope it's great because I love Ben Stiller. And who doesn't love Robert De Niro? And Ariana Grande has kind of surprised me with her Wicked performances. So, I mean, I hope it's good. But I don't think anybody's going to go see this. I'm going to say 100% Fockers in Law flops. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it has great success, but I think it's going to completely flop. Rob, what about you?
The one thing it does have going for it is it's a family-oriented film. So it's the kind of thing families will go see.
Are families going to take their kids to go see Focker in Laws?
Maybe. I mean, it's a fun comedy. You know, and a lot of people have watched this stuff on cable. I mean, a lot of it's got star power in it, and Ariana Grande adds to that star power.
It didn't help Wicked too.
That's true. But I could see this doing some business.
All right, guys. Well, those are the films. Rob, let me throw it over to you, though.
Oh, there's
Now,
one coming.
Those are the ones that that Looper kind of threw out there. By the way, kudos to Looper for putting together a good video. You got any other films coming out this year that you think might be prime and set up to be flops?
Yes, and I'm going to say this, and it's not just because it was gender swapped, but the new Cliffhanger.
Oh, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, and I guess the main character is, first of all, Cliffhanger was a Sylvester Stallone movie.
Yeah.
And you had John Lithgow, you know, and it was awesome.
He was a great villain.
Yeah, he was a great villain. I mean, when I say it's awesome, again, at scale, it's no Terminator 2, but it was fun.
Oh, dude, that was a thrill. It might have been the movie that caused my fear of heights.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I like Cliffhanger. And this new Cliffhanger does not have the star power of a Sylvester Stallone.
There were movies from that era, to your point, Rob. Stallone movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, some Arnold movies, that the whole idea of the movie working was because that particular star was the engine of it.
Yeah.
And to try to just, it was kind of like trying to redo Point Break.
I was about to say that.
Without Patrick Stewart.
How do you do Point Break? I mean, you know.
Patrick Stewart. Patrick Swayze.
Make it show.
The dead presidents.
We're going to rob the bank.
Surfers. Yeah, I mean, plus, come on, Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is
right,
random surfer dude.
I mean, how can you not? And then somebody goes, yeah, we're going to remake or Total Recall with Colin Farrell. Remember that? Probably not.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't mind that movie.
No, I didn't mind it,
but nobody went to
didn't
see it. Yeah,
like why would you do? And it's like when people got mad about Predator Badlands, which I loved. Everyone's talking about the original Predator.
Predator Badland was awesome.
It was awesome. But the first Predator is not a movie about the Predator. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
It's a vehicle for
Arnold. It's a vehicle for Schwarzenegger to kick ass with
which is why surprisingly Predator has taken off. Like in spite of that.
Yeah, and it's so funny to me because the Predator Badlands is a Predator movie about the Predators, which I thought was awesome. But Cliffhanger, like who thought that was good? Like who goes, yeah, we're gonna make.
Who even wants an action film like that anymore?
I know, but if you put The Rock in it. You know,
you bring Sylvester Stallone back. The only chance
that's too much arthritis
doing
in them,
another.
in them joints.
I get, but I don't know. He looks pretty good in King of Tulsa or Tulsa King.
He looks good, but he don't move fast.
No, but that's fine. That you can be his kid or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're gonna do another movie called Cliffhanger, you have no chance of that being successful unless Stallone's in it. Because it's all about Stallone's DNA.
Right.
But anyway, do you got any others?
Cat in the Hat. Look, everything I've seen of the Cat in the Hat, I love the Cat in the Hat. I love Dr. Seuss. When I was a kid, I had every one of those books. That movie, I've seen multiple trailers. We first saw it at CinemaCon last year, and I watched a trailer and I'm like, this isn't funny. I hope it's good. Isn't like Bill Hader doing the voice of the cat?
Doing the voice of the cat.
I
Yeah.
know who I really like. I mean,
Giancarlo
want it.
Esposito's one of the voices.
yeah, I want the Cat in the Hat to be good. It just didn't look so good.
You know, this is the one I'll disagree with you on. It's not going to be an $800 million film.
Right.
I think this is going to be a hit, though.
I hope it is. Like you said,
I'm getting out of the doubting these family animated film things. I got to say, I think I found the trailer a little funnier than you did. I'm not dying to see it. I don't think it looks great, but I think this one's going to find its success.
I hope so. I hope it embraces the Dr. Seuss of it all. Sam, I am.
All right, guys. Well, listen, with that all down, what do you think about this? What are some of the big prime candidates out of all these huge films we have coming out this year that are going to be big hits, but we're going to have some flops too? That's just the nature of the business. Which ones do you think are lined up to be flops, unfortunately? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? The greatest event in the history of humankind is upon us. The film that I've been asking for almost more than any, a Highlander reboot, which I've been aching for decades, is now actually being filmed. It's happening. After startups and shutdowns, and now this person going to be in it, literally decades of them talking about doing a Highlander reboot. One of my top 10 all-time favorite films, the original Highlander. And then they added my boy, Henry Cavill, as the new Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. And still we had to wait years. And then we started doubting, is this even going to happen? Well, now it's happening. The tangibilization of it has come to pass as Henry Cavill, this comes to us from Variety, Henry Cavill has now released the first couple of images of him as Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod in the new Highlander. It's happening. I feel like that Michael Scott meme from The Office. It's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. Stay calm. Stay calm. It's happening. That's me right now. Do you got those images?
Yeah.
John, let's take a look at these a little bit.
I love it, man.
Oh my God, he's got
That little John Wick kind of feel to it.
He's wearing that Connor long overcoat.
Right.
Yeah.
That we saw from the first film.
And he's like in some Tibetan monastery somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
and then what's the next one? Another one on holy ground, because that's a big rule.
Yeah.
Big rule with the immortals. You cannot fight on holy ground.
Because aliens are scared of holy ground.
They're not aliens.
They're not from the planet Zeiss.
They
No.
are not aliens.
No.
But listen, they're
The Highlander
definitely
2
capturing
humor.
the tone. You got the John Wick guy directing. They've already talked about how, because Connor has lived for so long, he had to implement in like 17 different sword styles. He said that he would have learned over his long lifespan as an immortal. And so Henry Cavill talked a lot about having to learn. They said it's John Wick. They said this. It's John Wick with swords. I'm like, you nothing else. Take my money. That's good enough for me. I've been dying for this. You make this movie and you put in my boy. And then you got a John Wick dude directing it. I don't know, man. I don't know how I could be any happier about all this. It's actually happening. I love it. Rob, what did you think when you had a chance to look at these pictures?
Right. I mean, Highlander is a seminal piece of 80s greatness. Russell Mulcahy directing, Queen, music video style, the transitions from the past to the present. Clancy Brown is the Kurgan. What is not to love about Highlander? It birthed the franchise. Nothing was as good as the first.
Do you know it turns 40 years old this year?
Yeah.
40.
Yep. And it's about time. Let's bring it back. And Henry Cavill is the perfect person to play Connor MacLeod.
His
of the Clan
dedication,
MacLeod.
even after he broke his leg on the set.
Yep. Prepping for it and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? Listen, I'm not the kind of guy who, when you do a reboot of something or a relaunch of an old IP, that you got to bring in some of the old stars for cameos. I'm not against it. I'm just not usually in that camp. But you got to find a way to have Christopher Lambert, the original Connor MacLeod, to pop up, and you gotta find a way to have Clancy Brown pop up. I don't care if he's a local librarian or a police guy. I don't care, but it would just be so great to see them just pop up for a minute in something like this. And I mean, listen, then we got one of my favorite actors in the world, Russell Crowe, as the new Ramirez, filling the shoes of Sean Connery, who was such a great Ramirez.
You got Superman and Jor-El back together as the mentor.
Father and son back together
man.
again.
Come on.
I'm telling you, man, I love this image. Anyway, guys.
Plus, Russell Crowe is the greatest story ever about meeting Henry Cavill as a schoolboy.
Oh, isn't it great?
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
I
Like,
love that
for just a quick synopsis, go look up the video itself of Russell Crowe telling the story of meeting Henry Cavill. He met Henry Cavill when Henry Cavill was a schoolboy. And Henry Cavill approached him and asked him some advice. I think Russell Crowe gave him something.
Yeah.
And then years later, when they met for the first time in preparations for Superman, if I'm remembering the story right, Henry Cavill's like, "You don't remember this, do you?" And he told Russell Crowe the story, and he still had the thing that Russell Crowe gave him.
Yeah,
it's a great. Go look it up. I think he tells the story. I think Russell Crowe tells the story on Joe Rogan or something like that.
Yeah, I think he was shooting Proof of Life or something, and met him there.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
crazy
cool.
story. Anyway, guys, you looking forward to the Highlander? If you're not, you're dead to me. Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, it's been almost a week since we've done it, so we thought we would play ourselves a little game today of overreaction. How overreaction works is real simple. We just hopped on the YouTube channel and we asked you guys to submit some hot takes.
Yeah.
Jonathan gathered some up, and we're going to tell you if your hot takes are overreactions or not. So, Jonathan, what we got up first?
Okay, first up, Rob, is this an overreaction? We're going to hear from Lieutenant John, who says 2026 will be, and I'm never not going to say it that way, 2026 will be the biggest year in box office history.
Look, any year could be, but I think that there is the potential. I would say that this does have some pretty heavy hitters coming out in terms of things like Toy Story 5 and Avengers Doomsday and a lot of other films. So maybe. I don't think it's an overreaction, but
So you're going to say not an overreaction.
not an overreaction.
All right. I'm going to say this is an overreaction. Now, we've all said that we believe this is going to be the biggest year we've had at the box office since the pandemic. It's going to be the first real, true, recovered year from the pandemic. So I think the biggest year we've had at the box office since 2019. But it's not like all the wounds are healed yet. And so I think now, is it possible? It's possible, but I think at this point, we should be looking at it being the biggest year since the pandemic. I think saying it could be the biggest year of all time, at this point, I'm going to call it an overreaction. All right, what's next?
All right, John, is this an overreaction when we hear from Daryl Cooper? The new Highlander will be a surprise hit with strong legs.
$4 billion film.
There you go.
The first $4 billion film in history. No, unfortunately, listen, for now, I'm going to call that an overreaction. Look, you know how excited I am for this film. You know how I cannot believe how much my enthusiasm for this movie is just off the charts.
Enthusiasm.
But I also have to be realistic. Not everybody out there feels the same way about the Highlander as I do. Not everybody out there feels the same way about Henry Cavill as I do. To a lot of people out there, the Highlander is a foreign concept. Like most people have not even seen the original Highlander. So I'm just hoping the movie is good and makes enough that would tell the studio if they continue on with the franchise, it will continue to grow. But I think at this point, to think that's going to be a hit might be an overreaction at this point. Anyway, Rob, what do you think?
I think it's a bit of an overreaction. However, I do think the potential here, because it has a long legacy, multiple movies, a TV series that's very well regarded, and Queen. So I think this could be a nostalgia hit. It could be. It has the potential, but I do think it's still a bit of an overreaction.
All right. What's next?
Okay, over to you again, Rob. Here, when we hear from Drew Gretsch, this is an overreaction. Dave Filoni will lead Star Wars to a renaissance akin to what James Gunn is doing for DC.
Well, I'd say a big easy cheetah right there. I mean, that I think that's an overreaction. I think that, look, Dave Filoni, based on his live action work, even the Ahsoka show, left something to be desired.
That's a kind way to put it.
Look, I could be talking about Star Trek.
That's true.
Yeah, so I don't think. No, I think that's an overreaction. I just, the jury's out here. I thought Kathleen Kennedy was going to take Star Wars to new heights.
Well, so did George Lucas. This is an overreaction. Now, look, I am cheering for Dave Filoni, and as I've talked about in previous videos, I think there is some upside here, and I think there are some very interesting possibilities. But possibilities are one thing. Track record is another. And you can sit there all you want and say, but John, we love Clone Wars. Go ask the average film fan coming out of the average theater if they've ever watched an episode of the animated Clone Wars. 95% of them haven't.
Right.
The only thing he's ever kind of created in the chair that's live action is Ahsoka season 1, and that wasn't very good. It wasn't awful. I don't think it was like garbage, and it was better than some other Star Wars things that have come out on Disney Plus. I'm looking at you, Acolyte. But it was just not very good. The only thing we have right now with Dave Filoni is some potential. And I'm going to cheer for that potential. I'm going to look for that potential. But track record says otherwise. So I'm going to be hopeful, but realistic at the same time. And for now, I'm going to say that's an overreaction. All right. What's next?
All right, over to you, John. Is this an overreaction when we hear from Dingus McNally, the live-action Zelda movie? The live-action Legend of Zelda movie will hit $1 billion.
Ooh, look, I think they have done several things right. Number one, doing a Legend of Zelda movie is the right move. I mean, other than Mario, after Mario Brothers hit $1 billion, everybody starts saying, now Nintendo should make all these IPs into big movies. But Nintendo only has one Mario Brothers. And the next closest thing is Zelda. So doing a Zelda movie was the right decision. And I think doing Zelda as a live action film is also the right decision. I think this could be something epic. $1 billion, though, like I said, it's not Mario Brothers. It doesn't have the same popularity or nostalgia factor or all that kind of stuff. Do I think it can be successful? Yes. Do I think it can be a hit? Yes. Do I think the live action Legend of Zelda is going to be $1 billion film? At that point, I'm going to say it's an overreaction. Rob, what do you think?
I think it's an overreaction. Now, I think the possibility certainly exists, but we don't know enough about it. It has to be really, really good to hit $1 billion. I think obviously the Super Mario movie proved that a good film coming out of that stable of characters can work. But again, we've seen a lot of fantasy films, including the aforementioned Dungeons and Dragons, that didn't work, even though it was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's an overreaction.
All right. What's next?
All right, Rob. We're going to move on to Cole's Clips. Is this an overreaction? With literally all of the movie's main performers being nominated, way more than some of the other contenders like Hamnet and Sinners, Sentimental Value not being nominated for Best Casting is a snub.
That's an interesting question. You know, I have not seen Sentimental Value yet.
I was late to the game. It's really good.
That's what I've heard. I mean, and
It's
Stellan
really
Skarsgård
good.
is supposed to be incredible in it, but does it have a huge ensemble cast? You know, I mean, I look at Sinners, and to me, Sinners is an incredible cast, you know, of people. All those actors work beautifully. I just don't know enough about Sentimental Value. But I would say that I really thought that I thought the awards were definitely the nominations were well deserved. So I think that's an overreaction.
Yeah, I'm generally somebody who thinks the word snubbed is overused.
Yeah.
But not in this case. I'm going to say this is not an overreaction. When you look at Sentimental Value, the four main performances all of them nominated for Oscars. All of them. A couple of the names aren't even known to North American audiences at all.
Right.
So you got, of course, Elle Fanning, and you got Stellan Skarsgård as well. By the way, his first Academy Award nomination. Doesn't that feel wrong?
That's unbelievable.
Isn't that weird that this is his first Academy Award nomination? Are you kidding me?
I would have nominated for Hunt for Red October.
All four of the main four leads, they all got, including 2 supporting actresses. How does that not get nominated for best casting? I'm not going to sit here and insist that it should have won, but how does that not even get nominated when all 4 of your top, a couple of no names compared to North American audiences, and they all get nominations, and yet it's not getting a best casting nomination? I'm going to say on this one, not an overreaction.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what's next?
On to you, John, when we hear from C. Jack Tousley, who says Ron Howard is an overrated director. He has just as many bad films as he has good and great ones.
I'm sorry, I couldn't have heard that right. Can you read that again?
It
I
said,
could not have heard that properly. I must have misheard that. Please restate it.
it's probably because I have a cold. Let me just try it again. Ron Howard is an overrated director. No, I did read that correctly. He has just as many bad films as he has good and great ones. Screw Opie, man. Screw Opie.
Yeah.
He's overrated, bro.
Multiple Academy Award nominations and Academy Award wins for Best Director. Multiples of his films nominated
Smells
for
like
Best
mid to
Picture.
me.
And by the way, win for Best Picture. We're talking about the director of Splash, right? We're talking about the director of Rush, the director of Backdraft,
Cocoon.
the director of Beautiful Mind,
Night
the
Shift.
director of Frost Nixon, the director of Apollo 13, the director of, hell, even his Grinch movie, I think, is a Christmas classic.
The narrator of Arrested Development.
Cinderella Man, an Academy Award overrated director? What are you smoking? Has he made bad films too? Absolutely, he's made bad films. But Rob, as somebody who's not a hardcore sports guy, okay? Let me throw this to you as somebody who's not a hardcore sports guy. Is it out of bounds, not to say but is it out of bounds to say Kobe Bryant might be one of the great basketball players of all time?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know he missed the playoffs almost as many times as he won championships? Kobe's got 5 rings, missed the playoffs entirely 4 times. Does that mean because he had misses that, all those championships mean nothing? Listen, there are directors, 70% of directors would kill to have one of those Ron Howard films that we just listed off on their resume. One of them. He's got like 9 of them. Overrated? Are you insane? No, to call Ron Howard an overrated director, to me, is the epitome of an overreaction. Rob.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, here's the thing. Also, I think about a movie that I was really looking forward to that was just not good at all. Barry Levinson directed a movie with Richard Pryor called Toys.
I remember Toys, yeah.
And it's not good. So I would say that Ron Howard is a populist, call him a journeyman director, that you can always rely on him to give you good work. Now, is he going to direct, like what Ridley Scott did with Blade Runner? No, because that's not what he's doing. But I don't think Ron Howard's actually made bad movies, because all of his movies are really well made. Like, he made that, what is it, Heart of the Sea with Chris Hemsworth?
I was just about to bring up Heart of the Sea. I really dislike that film. I think that's one of his bad
So
ones.
he is mid. I knew it.
No, but I would look at that film. No, I didn't love that movie, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a huge misfire the way some directors have had total. Like, I love Francis Ford Coppola, but Megalopolis, not great. And he's made other movies that I didn't think were great. But I think Ron Howard, in terms of his track record, like you eloquently pointed out, is pretty damn good. And when he started out, I think back when he made Night Shift with Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton, That's one of my favorite comedies from the early 80s. I can still quote that movie. You know, and he made it. He directed that film. And he's made so many movies that I love. And I think the problem is he hasn't made a lot of movies lately that have been terrific. A lot of, you talk about, like, I don't think Backdraft is a particularly great film, but it's a really good movie, and it's very watchable. And when you go see it, it was like harrowing, and the fire stuff's really great, and it has these great star performances.
Check that door for heat, Tim.
I mean, everybody remember that movie.
Backdraft by itself, just Backdraft, is enough to make me want to wash your mouth out with soap.
Well,
for suggesting he's an overrated director.
It's wild to me because, like, you can't even get Cocoon. It's out of print on physical media. It's really hard to get. When Cocoon came out, it was a hit. People loved it. My parents loved it. I think we went and saw it 3 times in the theater. It took my grandparents. I mean, people forget that movie even exists. And it's wild, man. It's wild. It's just, and Ron Howard's been directing for over 40. He's almost been directing for 50 years. If you go back and what is it?
And now his daughter's a pretty damn good director too. Bryce Dallas has turned out to be a really good director in her own right.
She's a really cute redhead. Just saying.
All right, guys. And is that it? Was that the last one?
What? We have a 7th.
Oh, we got another one today. One more.
Okay, one more. The bonus Jonas. Okay.
Here it comes. Lay it on me.
From just a man. Avengers Doomsday not being on IMAX will significantly hurt its box office run for those 3 weeks.
That is an overreaction. Wherever Avengers Doomsday is going to be playing, it's going to be full of people. And look, would we have liked to have seen it in IMAX? Sure. But remember, most people, IMAX screens, there's not that many of them IMAX screens. I know when I'm going to go to my local theater, it'll probably be playing on every screen at the Harkins Mountain Grove 16. Everyone's going to go see that movie. Everyone. So I don't think it's going to hurt its box office at all, because screens are screens, and no one's going to go, I can't go to an IMAX screen, so I'm not going to go see Avengers Doomsday. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, here's the reality too. I mean, would I like to see it in IMAX? Sure, but I probably wasn't going to see it in IMAX anyway. I was probably going to go see it in AMC Prime.
Right.
I don't know anybody. Now, I'm not saying these people don't exist. I'm just saying I don't personally know anybody that's going to go, oh, guess I'm not going to go see Avengers Doomsday then. It can't be in IMAX. Rob, you said it. You were 100% right. Every theater that is going to be showing Avengers Doomsday is going to be full.
Yeah.
IMAX, just do the math. IMAX makes up less than 2% of the screens that are out there. Now, will it make a difference? Like the difference between, 218,312,000 and 218,310,000? Sure. It'll make a mathematical difference, but an almost indiscernible one. So, I'm going to agree with you on this one, Rob. I'm going to say thinking that Avengers Doomsday is going to be significantly hurt in its box office because it's not in the IMAX screens for the first 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm going to call that an overreaction.
In some ways, it actually helps that Dune, I almost called it Doomsday, that Dune Part 3 is getting the IMAX, solely, because that means it's going to attract all those people into IMAX, into those screens to see. If anything, I think Dune is going to be more hurt because people aren't going to go out to the standard theaters for Dune Part 3.
Yeah.
They're going to go to the IMAX and fill those in. Yet Doomsday is going to, I keep doing that.
Dude, it is Doomsday, baby.
Yeah. But yet, Avengers is going to be in Dolby Cinema. It's going to be in Prime. It's going to be in standard theaters. So, yeah, I think
there's still going to be demand. Like, I still think Dune is going to sell out the IMAX screens.
Yep.
People are then not, the people who want to go see Dune are not also, just like Doomsday, they're not going to go, well, if I can't see it on the IMAX, I'm just not going to go see it. I still think they'll both do well, but yeah, I just don't see it hurting Doomsday.
The two previous, like, I would even say this. Like, I saw Infinity War and Endgame on multiple theater screens, and I don't think my enjoyment of those two movies was hampered by not seeing it in IMAX. Whereas the Dune films are so experiential. You know, between the sound and the visuals and the verisimilitude, I would really feel shortchanged if I couldn't see Dune Part 3 in IMAX. So if I had a choice, I would much rather see Dune in IMAX than Avengers Doomsday, because I'll enjoy Avengers Doomsday no matter where I see it.
All right, guys. And that wraps up today's session of Overreaction. Thank you to everybody who sent in your hot takes, even the ones we got a little bit fired up over. I love that you have the hot takes. Thanks for sending those in. And guys, keep your eyes open on our YouTube channel for when we put out our calls for the next round of submissions. All right. That down, guys. Let's hit into hour number 2 here on the John Campea Show here today. And let's talk about this. Very quietly, actually, the newest Marvel Cinematic Universe project came out yesterday. Wonder Man hit Disney Plus yesterday, and all of its 8 episodes, which is kind of a red flag. They dropped all 8 episodes of Wonder Man. 8 episodes at, when you take away the previously on and the end credits, the like 6 minutes of end credits, every episode was under 30 minutes. I mean, I might be off by 1, but I think every episode was really under 30 minutes. And finally had a chance to watch it. I hadn't had a lot of excitement about it, although the final trailer they put out was intriguing to me. So I sat down yesterday, me and one of my buddies, we sat down and watched the whole season of Wonder Man. Only took about 4 hours. So kind of like a really long movie. And I gotta say this. I really liked it. Really liked it. I mean, a lot more than several other offerings we've gotten from the MCU on Disney Plus in recent years. But this is one of the good ones. And you know what? Other than Eternals, this was the most unlike Marvel project I've ever seen. It really doesn't feel like a Marvel show at all. And I don't mean that in a good or a bad way. That's it. It was very unlike a Marvel show. But, you know, I said heading into the series, I said the number one thing that's going to make this thing fail or go is the chemistry between Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Sir Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery. And in episode 1, any doubts I had were laid to rest.
It's good. It's good clown work.
Oh my God. Their on-screen chemistry is fantastic.
You could get that from the trailers, but you never know until you see the full.
You're right. You never know until you watch it. And by the time they get into the story, and by the way, I'm only going to say something you've already seen in the trailers, that they land the role in the movie and all that, which you see in the trailers, and you get that far along in the story, you really buy, because on the surface, you look at Ben Kingsley, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, these guys are like bromance best friends. On its visual surface, hard to buy. But by the time that happens in the movie, you're like, yeah, I totally buy it. These guys are dear, totally connected friends. And it works. And it works so well. And let me say this. I don't know why. Whenever we get into conversations of the great actors still working today, hardly ever does the name Sir Ben Kingsley come up.
But it should.
And it should. Because I'm telling you what, in something like a lighthearted little Wonder Man thing, you are reminded he is one of the greatest actors in the world. Like,
and
it's not
such
just
a career.
Oh, and yeah, his career for sure. But I mean, this one thing, because yes, as he's acting like Trevor, you know, yeah, that's great. But there's all these moments where he suddenly breaks into Shakespeare. And like, he's not just doing a great Shakespeare, he's doing a great Trevor Slattery doing Shakespeare. Sort of like, it just blows your mind how good he is in this. He's remarkable. Yaya's great. The basic idea and underlying story of it, about it being kind of a meta, this is a mix between the studio and
I was going to say that. I kind of felt like a studio.
Entourage.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes these great meta observations about the industry itself, because I had to close my eyes for some of it because it was so uncomfortable, because I know a lot of actors and actresses, and watching Simon going through the the audition process. I'm like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable, but it's so 100% real. It's so 100% real. So for me, okay, there are 8 episodes, and I'm not going to spend long on this. I'm just giving you my general thoughts.
Just tell us how it ends.
The first 6 episodes, awesome.
Nice.
Loses some steam once you get to episode 7. It does. Once they get to the point in the trailers where they've landed the roles now and they're going to be making this Wonder Man movie, it loses some of its steam to me. It just does. Now, the final episode, episode 8, while still suffering from some of the jankiness of episode 7, it has some really good high notes. Episode 8, the finale, has some really good high notes. And I will tell you this because they kind of joke about it in the trailer, saying the people doing the audition, where have we seen him before? And he's like, I'm pretty sure he was a terrorist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The show leans very much into his past as the Mandarin.
Yeah.
And that's very relevant to the story. But I'm just telling you, even though it got pretty uneven in the last 2 episodes, the last episode better than episode 7, I got to tell you, by the time the final credits rolled, and there's no post-credit scene, by the time the final credits rolled, I'm like, that was a satisfying watch. I'm not going to say it's WandaVision. I'm not going to say it's one of the better things the Marvel Cinematic Universe has ever done, but it's one of the better things they've done in the last number of years. And again, all I can ask is by the end of it, I can go, that was a satisfying watch. And it was. I quite enjoyed Wonder Man, and I'm surprised. But I quite enjoyed it. Rob, you've not finished the series yet, but you got
I watched
quite into
through
it.
Doorman, the episode that somebody just on the screen said it was like an Atlanta episode.
That's a great. That is totally an Atlanta episode.
Totally is. I have to say, when I put it on, in the first episode, there's a scene when he's got a bit part, like on a Buffy TV series or something, and he's written himself his backstory, and he's trying to.
It's American Horror Story.
Yeah.
It was a role on American Horror Story.
It was so watching him try and talk to the director about his background motivation, dude, I was cringing. I was just going, oh my God, please.
Because I've seen people do that, man.
I've seen actors do it, and I've literally dealt with actors doing it on, and it was so, I really liked, and I haven't seen the end of it, but I watched 5 episodes? Zorman? I don't remember.
I think it's episode 5, yeah.
Episode 5. I loved it. And it was interesting to me because I really thought that I love the fact that it's firmly set in the real world. And I'm like, this is kind of what She-Hulk should have been. Where, She-Hulk is the only person, like everyone else is real, but I just didn't buy the world of She-Hulk. I didn't think they did a great job. But this, I totally bought into it. And I love the fact, it's so crazy to me that Trevor Slattery from Iron Man 3, the Mandarin in Shane Black's Iron Man 3, has become this character that keeps coming back in the MCU because
and I'm so glad he does.
I love it. I love the fact that I have a hot toy of him, that didn't sell very well because nobody wanted it. Now it's like, I'm glad I do. Just like people shouldn't sleep on that White Vision. But I love this show. I really did. And it made me realize I want to see more like this in the MCU because I really like those short subjects they would do that they would put on their physical media releases. And a funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer or whatever. And I think that this is the way the Marvel Universe needs more of this. And I don't know if you ever read the comic book series Marvels. It was all about the Marvel Universe, but it was told from the perspective of regular people. I think they should make that movie. I would love to see Marvel do a Marvels movie where you're dealing with regular people dealing with the aftermath of Thanos and being snapped back. And then the heroes are kind of off in the distance.
Well, when they had the opportunity to do that, remember WandaVision? We had Randall Park.
Yeah.
And
the 2 Broke Girls girl.
Yes. Why? And I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know why we all kind of, everybody in the fanverse, we all came up with this theory that they should create an X-Files like thing that is just about those 2 characters as regular human beings going around the Marvel Cinematic Universe world, solving these mysteries. That was Kat Dennings was her name.
Yeah. Still is.
As a matter of fact, it's still
Well
is her
done,
name.
Rob.
But so I agree. I think something like that was a perfect time for them
because
to do
this
it.
was, I love the fact that this is firmly set in the real world. We living in LA recognize the reality of it all. I mean, this is a comedy. You know, I've always loved buddy comedies, whether it's Midnight Run or, you know, mismatched people doing things together. This is a subgenre of stuff I love. And they were great. Both of them gave great performances. Everybody, by the way, was great in this movie. There was so much in it that was funny, but it's like people are going to watch it. I'm sure a lot of people, because it doesn't have some apocalyptic superhero.
I really don't want to hear it's boring from
It's not-
people.
I
No,
don't.
like it's boring.
Yeah,
There's no explosions.
I thoroughly enjoyed everything about this, and I can't wait to get to the end of it. I hope they do a second season.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
I know, but I wish they would, because I mean, you know, after Doomsday and Secret Wars, I don't know what's going to happen to this poor world, but I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was quite enjoyable. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to watch Wonder Man? If so, what did you think of it? I mean, we really quite enjoyed it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Well, we know there's a new Superman movie coming, Superman Man of Tomorrow. James Gunn, they've already announced it. We got Brainiac, Lex and Superman are going to kind of team up, but we are still waiting for more DC characters to be introduced in this DC universe. And James Gunn may have just let slip who the next big character that's coming via Superman Man of Tomorrow. Here's what's coming to us from over at IGN. Their headline is James Gunn once again tweets pictures of a pack of Chocos. At least that's how our Chacos. And now fans think Martian Manhunter is on his way to the DCEU. So he put out this picture that I'll just bring up here.
It's great, by the way.
Online of, the table. Looks like they're doing table read or something like that. And there's a big package of Chocos. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a fictional brand of an Oreo cookie knockoff that apparently Martian Manhunter absolutely loves. He loves these things. And so, understandably so, the fan base is now basically, it's confirmed, and it's not, but they're saying it's confirmed, Martian Manhunter is coming to the DCU. All right.
I love Martian Manhunter.
Got a couple of thoughts on this. Number one is, I don't think you're crazy at all. If James Gunn putting this picture, blatantly and obviously putting this picture out, if you are one of the people in the camp that believes this means that we're getting Martian Manhunter, I don't blame you at all. I mean, I think that's kind of at minimum what James Gunn is implying. That's at minimum what he's implying. Now, I do want to suggest, though, that just because he's putting that out there, it could mean that we're going to be introduced to the company in Man of Tomorrow, that maybe it's for something else coming later down the, that's a great picture, later down the line in the DCU, that, all that kind of stuff. If I had to put $5 on it, John, do you think this means, are you willing to wager that this means he is going to be in Superman Man of Tomorrow, or that he is not going to be in Man of Tomorrow? Even I have to say, I think I'd put my $5 on Martian Manhunter, John Jones, showing up in Man of Tomorrow. I think is, and you know what? When you think about it too, the nature of the character fits well with the fact that Brainiac is coming, right? So that fits all in there too. So I am in agreement with all my fellow fans who seem to think these pictures indicate that James Gunn is bringing Martian Manhunter. It's not confirmation. We need to remember that, but it does seem to be what they're implying. That said, I have mixed feelings about it. My film loving brethren out there, they don't like the fact that, and I'm always honest. I think Martian Manhunter is one of the lamest superheroes out there.
Oh man, how can you say that?
I've always thought Martian Manhunter is one of the lamer superheroes out there. And I know a lot of my friends vehemently disagree with me about it. And that's fine. I'm not going to try to convince anybody otherwise. I'm not going to try to convince you. It's just that I I've always had mixed feelings about bringing in Martian Manhunter. I would be just as happy if they never brought in Martian Manhunter. I get it. John, he's a founding member of the Justice League. I get it. I totally do. That's why I'm not going to argue. I'm just saying, for me, I've always thought he's one of the lamer characters. So I'm not going to pretend that I'm excited that he's probably coming in. Anyway, Rob, what do you think about the pictures, James Gunn? What do you think about what it means or doesn't mean, and how would you feel about Martian Manhunter coming into the DCU?
Well, first of all, I got to tell you, I love John Jones. I love Martian Manhunter. They've done so many great storylines with him, and I especially loved him in the Justice League, the humorous Justice League in the mid '80s. And I think, you know, we've got Maxwell Lord. They're kind of going to lean into that. Bring it on. And one of my favorite things in Zack Snyder's Justice League was seeing Martian Manhunter at the end. I loved it. And I've always liked the character. I like the design of the character. I want a Hot Toys action figure of this character. So bring it on for me. That said, I think this is pretty funny, you know, that's a whole marketing plan. And that, you know, because Quentin Tarantino has this Red Apple cigarettes. So why can't the DC universe have Chocos? I always said Chocos. But look at that. They've got a whole marketing plan. It says right there, marketing plan. Oh, come on. Look at that.
Right.
That was a dope picture. And look,
This is like the offices.
this must be a set.
Yeah, it's like their corporate offices.
So maybe they're going to, you know,
And it looks like they're developing a new cookie here on the board there in the background.
I love it. Like, what's not to love?
And they bring in John Jones to be their spokesperson
He's their
or something.
celebrity spokesman. I mean, if Booster Gold can be a corporate shill, why can't Martian
Why not
Manhunter?
Martian Manhunter?
Yeah.
Just don't leave a pack of matches on the table because he'll freak out. If Superman's got his kryptonite, John Jones got a Bic lighter.
And there's white Martians, too.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think James Gunn has just subtly or not so subtly basically just announced to the world that we're going to get Martian Manhunter, one of the founding members of the Justice League, and listen, despite how I feel, a very popular character amongst DC fans. Do you think this is James Gunn implying that we are about to get him in there? Or do you think maybe it's just kind of a misdirect and maybe it's just laying the groundwork for him coming later on? I don't know. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right. With that down, guys, let's now get on to the most important part of our show, which is taking your live comments and questions. But before we do, we're going to bid good afternoon to Robert Meyer Burnett. Great job as always, my friend. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yes, you will.
All right, guys. And with all that said, and just so you know, we had turned off the super chats a while ago, so you can't send in any new ones. We've already got a lot of them lined up here for you. So, Jonathan, what we got up first?
Michael J says, "Hey John, thinking of getting AMC A-list for me and my family. Do they offer a family plan? If not, how does it work when you have a child under 13?"
You'd have to look it up. First of all, I do not believe they have a family plan. Every individual has to have their own individual account, which is fine because it's already, each card saves you tons of money. I believe you can get a card if you have a kid under 13. I think you can get a kid their own card.
Yeah, you can add a minor to your account.
Yeah, I think you can just add and get them their own card, but there is no family plan. I mean, AMC A-List is already such a ridiculous discount. Like, it's a just ludicrous discount. So you don't get another discount on top of the discount. So everybody's got to have their own card. Yeah. But I encourage you to go and read up on it a little bit more. All right, what's next?
Just some support from Dean Talks Movies there.
Thank you, Dean Talks Movies.
And then Josh says, part 1 of 2, I never liked The Fellowship of the Ring, but decided to watch it again with my wife, only to realize I, for some reason, stopped watching right after the Balrog scene. I missed about 40 minutes of the movie. Now on to Return of the King. Love the movie so far. Has this happened to you before?
You know, that's a really interesting scenario that I thought one thing about a movie, but I never realized that I hadn't actually seen the whole thing. I don't think that's ever happened to me. But man, even if you didn't see it past the Balrog scene, you didn't like Fellowship of the Ring up until the Balrog scene? Okay, I mean, hey, all film's subjective, man. It's all subjective. But no, that's a really interesting scenario, but I don't think that's ever happened to me personally that I know of. No, I'm pretty sure I've always, except for movies that I've deliberately got up and walked out of, but that's only happened like 7 times in my life. Yeah, I'm going to say I don't think that's happened to me, but a really interesting scenario. All right, what's next?
Richard K says, over under 40% a B-level character like Ant-Man, Rhodey, or U.S. Agent. The new Falcon, Hawkeye, M'Baku, Korg, Wong character like that dies in Doomsday or Secret Wars.
Oh, okay, let's just travel back in time to when I didn't know what's going to happen in Doomsday. Okay? So if you'd asked that question of John Campea from 6 months ago, he would say, well, obviously, you can't go through 2 Avengers movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, and not think that at least some, even on a B-level character, is going to die. I mean, obviously, 100%. 100%. All right, what's next?
Real Life Entertainment says it would be so cool if they do a crossover where Alice from Shrinking goes to play for Ted's team in Ted Lasso season 4. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, that's right, because his daughter in Shrinking plays soccer. Now, I don't know if they're suggesting she's an elite world level soccer player that she could go and play for Richmond. But that's a crossover, a Ted Lasso Shrinking crossover.
They put some photos out. Did you see that for Ted Lasso?
Oh, you know what? I saw a headline, but I don't think I saw the pictures myself.
Yeah, just some photos. I mean,
I'm so happy that show's coming back.
And I guess Shrinking was renewed for season 4 or even before.
Oh, that's awesome. That might be my favorite show that's currently airing. Like maybe even more than The Pit. Like I love Shrinking so much. Oh, all right. What's next?
We got Raymond. Filipino singer AJ Rafael is on Wonder Man. He plays Brian, the guy who checks in Simon Williams.
The guy who makes him sign the doorman waiver?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Yeah, that was in the trailer.
You and Ann might like his songs on YouTube. During the pandemic, he and his wife did Disney medleys.
Oh, I'm going to have to go and look that up. Thanks for the info on that. I always like getting a little bits of information that way.
We got Richard K. who says, best John Wayne movie in your opinion? I'll probably go Searchers. But it's not because it's John Wayne. It was the director. It was the cinematography.
I mean, True Grit, which I think was his only Oscar. I think his only Oscar was True Grit. Anyway, Rio Bravo, Searchers. I know my dad's favorite was The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. He shot Liberty Valance. He was the bravest of them all. Yeah, my dad loved that one. I'm going to go The Searchers. Yeah, I'll go The Searchers, but there's a bunch you can pick from for sure. All right, what's next?
We got AL says, who's your favorite and least favorite Indiana Jones traveling companion? That's kind of interesting. My favorite is Henry Jones in Last Crusade, and least is Willie in Temple of Doom.
Oh, I got to agree with you on Willie. Don't get me wrong, I love the movie, and she's a good character, but I'm going to agree with you that she's my least favorite of his companions. I got to go Sala, man. John Rhys Davies. Gimli. Sala, yeah. I've always loved, oh, my friends, I'm so pleased you're not dead. That's still the best line in all the Indiana Jones movies. I love that one. Yeah, so I'm going to go Sala.
All right.
All right, what's next?
Yeah, Richard K. Over under 30%, they announced the new Bond and bring him out on stage at the Amazon Cinema Con presentation.
Under, and here's the main reason why, and this is what most people misunderstand. CinemaCon, like at Comic-Con, you expect announcements.
That's the fan outreach.
Because it's a fan event. CinemaCon's an industry event where it's really about the studios promoting their films to the movie theater owners. Because remember, it's a movie theater owners convention. That's what it is. It's a trade convention for movie theater owners. As a result, as such, it's very rare, not zero, but it's rare that studios make big announcements.
Yeah, reveals.
Because it's not a fan event. What they are mostly doing is, okay, you guys know we have this movie coming up. So here's 15 minutes of that movie, because they're trying to get the movie theater owners to want to commit as many screens as possible and the best, most choice screens as possible to their movies. But it's not now. Again, they have made some announcements. Some studios have dropped some announcements at CinemaCon, but it's not really what it's for. So I'm going to go well under 30%. That's not the place for them to announce who the new James Bond is. All right, what's next?
Jalen Johnson says, really enjoyed Wonder Man, but each episode doesn't have a whole lot of chew on to warrant a weekly release. Each episode is like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's why they dropped it.
which just tells me, okay, then flesh it out more or just make it a movie. Yeah.
But I don't know if people would have shown up for the movie. But then it's like, then why do it? People aren't signing up for Disney Plus for it.
Or even just drop it as a movie
On
on Disney Plus.
I see what you mean.
As one of those Marvel special presentations. It just, I mean, these 25-minute episode things, so ridiculous. All right, what's next?
Facility guy says, I'm looking forward to seeing Highlander footage. Fingers crossed at CinemaCon and maybe Henry.
Well, I mean, they're just shooting the film now.
Maybe they could do a trailer.
When is Highlander scheduled to come out?
Yeah, let me look that up.
I know it's not until at least 2027. All right, and do they have a scheduled release date for it right now? I'm not 100% sure that they do, but maybe they do.
I'm not seeing it on IMDb. Let me look at
I will ask, see if you can. I will look this up too. Is there a release date for
reboot? Says 2027 or 28.
Okay, so they haven't nailed down a date yet. Okay, so yeah, no official release date has been set yet as of early 2026. So generally speaking, at CinemaCon, they show you stuff for movies that are coming out in the next 12 months. So all the movies that are going to come out from this CinemaCon right up to the next. I don't think we're getting the Highlander.
Oh, and isn't it, someone just brought that up, but yes, isn't it Lionsgate, and is Lionsgate not having a...
Oh yeah, and Lionsgate's not doing a presentation this year.
So there you go.
But even if they were,
right,
since the Highlander's not likely to come out before the next CinemaCon, it's much more likely that they'll do a presentation of Highlander next year at CinemaCon. So that's much more likely. Yeah. All right, what's next?
Apollo, I think a Nova movie is long overdue. He should have had a movie around the Endgame era after all Thanos destroyed his people, ready for the X-Men era.
Yeah. I could have taken or left a Nova movie.
I thought Nova was going to be like in a Captain Marvel at some point, but
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different places they could have, but I don't think they needed to have him there. I really don't. Now, could they still do one in the future? Absolutely. Could they do one and make it really good? Absolutely. But I'd say they needed to have one. I don't think you can back that up. I don't think you can back up that statement. I think there are some people out there that would have liked to have seen it. I think the vast majority of the movie audience has never heard of Nova, which, I mean, hey, they had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, but they didn't need to do Guardians of the Galaxy. And they didn't need to do Nova, I don't think. All right, what's next?
Okay, we got Alex Ryan Music, who says, with a $20 super chat, by the way.
Thank you, Alex.
Hi, John. Got laid off in December, and this past weekend was awful. Spent sun at the Grove, not Louisiana, the one in L.A., Los Angeles. Saw A3, that's Avatar 3.
Oh, Avatar 3, okay.
11th time. Dude, 11th time, how many hours that is? My goodness. Husband met me for 28 years later. Art and community are everything. You made me excited about movies again. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I mean, that totally sucks, what you're going through right now. That absolutely blows. And I'm sorry to hear that. But you're absolutely right as well. Great art, storytelling. This whole industry, when done right, it is a wonderful oasis for us. It's a wonderful place and way for us to engage our imaginations, engage our thoughts, rest our minds a little bit. And like I say all the time, when things are crappy for me and I go in and watch a great movie, when I come out, my problems are still there. I'm just in a better place to cope with them and deal with them. Hopefully, because the movie's taken me away. It's ignited my imagination. It's adjusted my point of view. And that's one of the great things that movies does for us. And I'm glad they can do them for you at this really, really crappy time. So hopefully those things turn around for you, Alex. All right, what's next?
We got Big Dog Bruce. Hello, John. Sinners is my favorite film of 2025. To me, it deserves its acclaim. But my God, was Jack O'Connell just pure brilliance in this film?
He was great in it. I loved him in it. I mean, again, for me, Sinners was my favorite film of the year. It was my favorite film of 2025. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture. That's probably going to be one battle after another. Totally deserving as well. But yeah, I did love his performance in that a lot. All right, what's next?
We got Zach Pasta Sauce. Well, oh no, sorry. Before we get to that, we got King Daddy Goat. Send Help might be my new Sam Raimi favorite. 9 out of 10.
I'll tell you what I'm excited about. I've been excited about it since they gave us the first preview for it at CinemaCon last year. Ann and I got our tickets for Thursday. We're going to go see it tomorrow. I'm stoked about it. It looks fantastic. Good Canadian girl, Rachel McAdams. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be awesome. All right, what's next?
Now it's Zach Pasta Sauce Walters with a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Zach.
Hey crew, me and over 30 of my friends and co-workers for the past 6 years have been making our own DC cinematic universe, but in audiobook form. That came to an idea during the pandemic. As of right now, the total episodes is 262. That's amazing.
First of all, that sounds like such a fun project.
Secondly, congrats on having 30 friends.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there. That's a flex in and of itself. But no, seriously, I love it when fans get involved in doing something creative. And that sounds like a very doable and yet ambitious thing to do. So that is great. I'm glad you're doing that, man. That's awesome. Good for
That's
you.
really cool.
All right, what's next?
Alfredo says, really enjoying the YouTube collabs. Thanks.
Oh yeah, so recently,
the interviews, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Bringing in, we had Christian come in, we had Sean Chandler come in, we had Chris from 3C Films come in, and we're gonna do more. But listen, this week we haven't had any in other news segments. We haven't had any of the drop-in guest segments. That's mostly been because Jonathan's not been here, and that adds more for me to do because he's been sick. But at the same time, I've been sick. You can probably tell I've got halls in my mouth right now, trying to keep myself from hacking and coughing and wheezing. I'm much better. I am. I'm much better right now than I was a couple of days ago. But we just haven't had the time. But those are going to become more and more a part of our show. Things like in other news, the drop-in guests. We're going to be definitely doing more of those moving forward. All right, what's next?
We got Daniel who says, hey, John and crew, hate to report that I won't be attending CinemaCon again this year because I have to save up to go to a wedding the week after.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Tell Ann and Ray I said hi and I hope to return 26.
Yeah, listen, actually, it's funny you bring that up because Ann is actually out right now at Disneyland with a girlfriend of ours that is getting married this year. And we're like already trying to plan how we're going to be paying for doing everything for the wedding. And CinemaCon, Jonathan, I don't know if you knew this, not cheap.
Yeah.
Let me bring up, I heard the prices went up again this year.
Yeah, I heard it's more than like $20 now.
Yes, it is more than $20.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can bring up the actual, I believe.
I mean, it was around before like 14 or 15, wasn't it? 100?
Okay, it is now $1,650. You can bring this up. $1,650.
Boom. Hey, but it's sponsored by Coke.
$50 for one pass to CinemaCon. $1,650. Yeah, man. It's expensive to go to. I think that's why a lot of people don't go.
Again, it's more industry, really. It's
Again, this is not a fan event. It's not meant for fans to go
if
to.
they had made it $150 or something, people would think it's a con, and then you're getting the wrong people showing up.
Yeah. So you can't. It's just expensive. It's not meant for fans. It's not meant. They go, why do they make it so expensive? Because it's not for us. It's not meant for fans. It's meant for the industry. Now I go every year because technically they consider me part of the industry and whatever, and sometimes I go with free press badges, but you don't get all access with press badges. So there are years that I just straight up buy the passes for me and the crew that goes. CinemaCon is easily the most expensive thing we do here every year.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because we literally use the information from CinemaCon all year.
It has proven more valuable than Comic-Con.
It's far more valuable than Comic-Con.
Comic-Con's huge in that moment. It's a burst.
But even just like a little bit, like 10 minutes ago, we were talking about send help.
Yep.
And we were able to say, Last year, they showed us the 10-minute presentation of Send Help. You literally hear us talk about CinemaCon almost every day on the show because they have literally showed us previews and presentations for like every movie coming out. So it is wildly expensive. You know what? I don't think it's out of bounds to say between travel, hotels, and the tickets that I probably spend somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 every year to bring the crew to CinemaCon. But it pays for itself because it literally gives us knowledge and insight that we get to use 365 days for the rest of the year. So it's the most expensive thing we do, but it's kind of worth it. All right, what's next?
We got Tyler who says, "Hey John, hope you're feeling better today. Given what you know, is Avengers 5 a Doctor Doom movie like Infinity War was for Thanos?" Well, we can tell you his name is in the title.
Yeah, it's literally called Doomsday. Yeah. So I will just let that stand. Other than that, I will give no other commentary on that. I'll just let the title of the movie stand on its own. All right, what's next?
Hypercarry. I'm a Godzilla fan, and I'm a bit worried about the direction Supernova might take. I want them to bring back some of the old Toho Titans into the MonsterVerse. What do you think? Love your show.
It's irrelevant whether they bring the old Toho monsters back in. It's the same way I feel about comic book films. Like when there's a new comic book film coming out, people say, who should the villain be? I go, it doesn't matter. What matters is you make a great movie with a great story and use whatever villain or monster or antagonist the right way. I always go back to the old Fantastic Four movies. Like we've had 3 Fantastic Four movies, not counting the newest one, not counting the Marvel one. We had 3 Fantastic Four movies where arguably a top 1, 2, or 3 greatest comic book villain in history, Doctor Doom, was the villain of the film. That didn't do anything to help the film at all. All 3 of those movies suck. Doesn't help it. You got to write your antagonist great, and it doesn't really matter who it is. So I don't really think the issue is like, you can do Godzilla X Kong Supernova, and I don't know, I'm just pull up a name, Mothra. If the movie's not good, having Mothra there won't suddenly make it good, right? So it's not really about who you use. It's about how you use whichever character, monster, entity in it. So look, am I nervous about the movie too? Absolutely. But the last one was pretty fun. If they can just nail that, I'll be happy. All right, what's next?
We got Silent Ghost says, as a D&D guy, was ST an accurate representation?
I have no idea what we're talking about.
As a D&D
guys,
guy,
please don't
Stranger Things, I think.
Oh, yeah, guys, please don't write in acronyms. Yeah. Yeah, we just got our new Dungeons and Dragons game going the other night, and it's being now. Anne has traditionally been our game master, our dungeon master, but we've got a new D&D campaign going, and it's being dungeon mastered by a guy from Wizards of the Coast.
Oh wow!
For those of you who don't know, Wizards of the Coast is the company that makes Dungeons and Dragons, and we actually literally have a guy. Anne knows him from her time at Hasbro, because Hasbro owned Wizards of the Coast. And we actually got a guy from Dungeons and Dragons dungeon mastering and running our new campaign. It's pretty awesome. All right, what's next?
Silent Ghost of Sinners is the best non-musical that has music. Never thought I'd see a vampire film with great music. The Greatest Showman and Sinners are my favorite films with musical numbers.
Yeah, I might go so far as to call Greatest Showman is more than just a movie with musical numbers. I mean, the whole story is told through its songs. Like, it's not like it's got 2 or 3 songs like Sinners. Like, it's got it's packed with music. I would call Greatest Showman a musical. Wouldn't call Sinners a musical. It's just got a couple of musical numbers. But the music in it is great. Look, my favorite piece of music in Sinners is still the one, that kind of Irish jig song that all the vampires do out as they're in the
Rocky Road to Dublin.
Oh my God, I love that. Love it. All right, what's next?
That answers the next question. Do you have a favorite song from Sinners? I love Will You Go, Lassie Go. That's probably my favorite. Rocky Road, and then there was one from Inside the Tavern I loved. Rocky Road to Dublin, I Lied to You, Pick Poor, Robin Clean, and Sinners. Well, you love the Rocky Road to Dublin.
That one by far is my favorite of the whole movie. Absolutely.
Rennie, what is your favorite Lord of the Rings movie and why?
Return of the King. I mean, I love them all. They're 1A and 1B, but yeah, Return of the King is just like this great way they bring all the narrative threads to conclusion, the emotionality of it, the grand epicness of it, incredible one-liners. I mean, it's just, I mean, you can say that about all the different films at different times, but I think that Return of the King is not necessarily the greatest movie of all time, but it's the greatest accomplishment when you consider all the dozens of different disciplines that go into making a movie. All of those ones were at the top of their game to come together to make a motion picture. And it's right up there. So that's why I'll say Return of the King.
All right. We got Dean Talks Movie, some support there with an on-set sticker.
Thank you, Dean Talks.
Silent Ghost favorite, Smokestack Twin. I like Smoke's protectiveness and Stack's laid backness. Hard to pick which one I prefer. Michael B. Jordan did great with his performances.
Yeah, I've been asked that question before, and I'll give you the same. I really don't have a favorite between them. I mean, it's just they are like one unit to me, and I just love the pair. And the performance Michael B. Jordan does as them is great. So I don't really have a favorite between them. I just love both of them for different reasons.
Alex says, hey, John and crew, last night I saw Dead Man's Wire with Bill Skarsgård. Have you guys seen it? I have not.
I did not. I skipped that one, unfortunately, for no real reason. I just never got around to it.
We got Super Nintendo Chalmers who says, I think a line in Doomsday will be, don't you get it? You've already lost.
Okay.
There you go.
What's next?
Austin Gallo. Hey, John, not sure if you've heard of DC's new Absolute Universe, but highly recommend. Batman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter are all incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following Comics Explained. Love that channel. I've been following his talking about it, but I've never actually committed to actually start reading any of it because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like the new Absolute Batman, like they totally changed his backstory. Like he doesn't come from the wealthy Wayne family. Like now he's just some guy who, whatever. I mean, the design is really good, but I don't know if I'm down with that. So maybe I'll give him a shot at some point.
We got,
all right, what's next?
Actors, reel to reel. Got to say, I loved Wonder Man. That duo was perfect.
The chemistry was insane. I mean, I picked up in the trailer that it looked like they could have good chemistry, but I was not prepared for how good their chemistry was. Yeah, Abdul Mateen and Sir Ben Kingsley just killed it. All right, what's next?
Jungle Jesus says, Don Giovanni, which are the better actor friends? Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, or Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman?
Oh,
I feel like Damon and Affleck have gone through more together because they came up from nothing. But I don't know how far back. I can't speak to that because I don't know how far back Hugh and Brian go. So.
Well, they don't go back to being 15, which is how far back Ben Affleck and Matt Damon go. And they were literally 15 years old. Best friends growing up the street from each other. I mean, honestly, to me, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's is truly one of the great Hollywood stories. And like everything from how they grew up together to writing a screenplay that suddenly as young kids, they end up winning an Academy Award for Best Screenplay for Good Will Hunting. And both of them have had incredible Hollywood careers in their own right. And I'll tell you what, especially after watching The Rip, I don't care if it's a, Kevin Smith movie. I don't care if it's whatever. I could watch a Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie every year and really enjoy it. Now, the Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman thing is a much newer thing, right? And it's wildly entertaining and all that kind of stuff. And out of all of them, out of all four of them, Hugh Jackman's probably the best actor. But just as a story, because you're talking about these two guys who go all the way back as kids together, and they've come up and they both hit it so big, and they're both so good when they're together, and they're both so good when they're apart. I'll go Damon and Affleck. All right, what's next?
Cutter Hale, who says, have you seen Is This Thing On? I want to. It's amazing. Should have gotten some awards. Love. Also, Guy Ritchie's In the Gray with Henry Cavill comes out in April.
Yeah, which again is one they highlighted for us all the way back at CinemaCon. It was supposed to come out earlier this year. It was supposed to come out in 2025. And then it got big bump, and we didn't even know for a while if it was going to get released. But apparently now they finally, because it's Henry Cavill, it's Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's the girl from Ambulance.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm freezing on her name right now, but she's really good, and I'm kind of freezing on her name at the moment. Anyway, I thought it looked really good, and it's Guy Ritchie. I really like Guy Ritchie, so I'm glad that one finally got its place on
Rosamund Pike, Isaac Gonzalez.
Isaac Gonzalez, thank you. It was Isaac Gonzalez in it. So it's really the three of their movies, right? It's Isaac Gonzalez, Jake Gyllenhaal, Henry Cavill. I thought the previews they showed us and the presentation they gave us at CinemaCon was really good. So I'm glad it's finally getting a release date. All right, what's next?
Vika says, I like the idea that Captain Hydra and Doctor Doom would be our antagonists in Doomsday, and Secret Wars, the MCU would be up against its legends.
Yeah, but I think what they're doing with Robert Downey Jr. is enough. I think if you then double down on that, I think that might be going too far with it. I'm not as enamored with the Captain Hydra thing as everybody else was. Hail Hydra. Like I'll be honest, even when they did it in the comics, I thought it was kind of gimmicky. But listen, I'm speaking a little bit out of turn here because like most people I know, like think that is like one of the great comic stories of the last, 15 years. I'm just saying for me, it never hit quite as well, but I do like what they're doing with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. All right, what's next?
Raymond says, like Robin Hood in Public Domain, there's another Dracula movie, Luc Besson directing, Christoph Waltz starring. Since Dracula came out in Marvel Comics, can there be Dracula versus Blade?
I mean,
yes.
they already did Dracula versus Blade. It was Blade, I believe it was Blade 3. Dracula was the main big villain in Blade, so they've technically already done Dracula versus Blade. All right, what's next?
Brandon, thoughts on the Shrinking premiere, that ending? Have you caught up on season 3 yet?
No, I haven't. The first episode came out last night, and last night for me was completely devoted to getting through the whole series of Wonder Man because I knew I had to review it today. So Ann and I are going to sit down later tonight and watch the new season premiere of Shrinking, and I cannot wait. But I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it tonight. All right, what's next?
Super Vash says, John, for your guest segment, you should have Colton or Eric Voss, Ryan Erie, and Josh from Den of Nerds.
Like the suggestions. I mean, some of these people don't know who I am, and I don't know who some of those people are. I'm mostly going to stick with people that I know, but you could see some of those names pop up sometime. All right.
Lone Wolf says, hey, John and crew, been a long time since I chatted with you. Hope you're doing well. Been watching all previous episodes. John, when I saw your top TV shows, I'm surprised Severance didn't make your list.
I really like Severance. Okay, make no mistake. I really like Severance. And I like Severance season 2. But I've not hidden. I think Severance season 2 was a step backwards. I really do. I don't think Severance season 2 was nearly as good as Severance season 1. And again, I still liked it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't find it to be nearly as good as Severance season 1. So yeah, it doesn't live up there. Yeah. All right, what's next?
Let's see. Oh, Alejandro says, a while ago you said that you don't believe Tony's weird reaction when his dad told him how far along his wife was in Endgame. That has nothing to do with him playing Doom. Do you still feel the same way?
Had nothing. No, they had no idea they were doing that. Like when they made that movie, they had no inkling that they were setting anything up for later. So yeah, no, not at all.
Malachite Hawk says, if James Cameron, this is our last one. First off, support from Dean Talks Movies.
Thank you again, Dean Talks Movies.
And then this is our official last one. If James Cameron makes Avatar 4 and 5 and they market 5 as the finale, do you think Avatar can join the 2 billion club one last time?
I mean, it would all depend on how Avatar 4 does. Like if Avatar 4 makes like 1.2 billion dollars, then yeah, I'd say if they say the epic conclusion of the Avatar saga, I could see that one hitting $2 million again. But if they do Avatar 4 and it makes like $800 million, which, by the way, when you look at the dip from Avatar 2 to Avatar 3, which is still a remarkably huge blockbuster hit, but it's not out of bounds to think that Avatar 4 could make south of $1 billion, then hitting the $2 billion mark would become pretty challenging. And all right, guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here, making our little show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the show, thank you guys so very much for your support. Hey guys, don't forget to come back and join us again tomorrow. I want to thank, of course, Robert Meyer Burnett, our technical producer, Jonathan Voico.
See you guys soon.
My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.